Hello there, and welcome back to, the Aztecs. We're currently, in session, more or less, to try and, to some extent, beat down Castile. It's definitely not something I'm counting on. It's not likely at all, due to the fact that war score, as you can see, doesn't really favor us at all. Castile is also only at war with us. We could always hope that the French will end up, bugging them, but that is a fairly bad bet, due to the fact that I'm pretty sure the Swede or the French don't actually have any casus belli on them, and as such we are once again put in a very skewed position here. And since they're both rivals with each other, they won't actually get an embargo casus belli or trade dispute as it is, so that's also very bad. But nothing I can do with that for now. We'll just have to try and hold our ground and see if we can, to some extent, bribe Castile out of this. I have no idea if that's actually possible. The war has been going on for a while, but we'll have to see what happens here. Pretty sure we'll actually lose this battle, but at this point there's not really much else I can do. Of course, Castile will most likely take a province from me too, just to add to insult, but it seems like we can actually win this battle, which is kind of surprising. But we are sacrificing a lot of troops. But as you can see, we did destroy that Castilian army. We basically got the same amount of war exhaustion as they do, but we just now try to allow these guys to regain some morale. We should be able to potentially beat that Castilian army, and if we do that, then we basically have put ourselves in a very promising position here, because then we can simply try and kick them out. And as you can see, my army can to some extent compete with theirs, mostly because of the fact I think this general is really helping. But as you can see, we are actually slaughtering their armies, or the ones they've sent so far, and as such we can actually win this war. We are winning battles. The only real issue right now is that I have to catch up in I'm pretty sure naval tech will be a very high up on the priority list. But as you can see here, we have won 2 battles, and that is currently giving us some pretty sweet war score. I think I'll just leave it behind 3,000 men, or yeah, I can leave that behind, and we'll march on this 2,000 men army. We need to re-siege the lands that they have taken pretty quickly to make sure that Shawnee doesn't actually get any rebel issues. I want to integrate them as a whole nation, and to do that, I'm pretty sure I need to keep them. Though it's not that far away, it's 3 more years. But all in all, things are looking kind of promising, because we can already, face the Castilian armies and actually beat them, as you can see here. So all that remains now is really for me to get my armies to Europe, because once I actually get my armies to Europe and can start fighting there, I can actually start snatching provinces, and thus I can start causing them some severe issues. We are actually in positive war score now, and I think that if I offer to concede defeat, we can actually get out of this one. And to be honest, there's nothing. Well, we can't apparently. Why? Relative strength of alliances, Castilian military strength. Huh. I was close to. Yeah, it's probably because they actually hold those. So, with that in mind, we might actually go here for trying to get ourselves an alliance with the French, and apparently that is actually a possibility here. We have same interests, so if I actually get an alliance with France and can use that to take Castile and Portugal, that will push me a long way towards actually fulfilling this. And that is definitely something that is interesting that I can do to make things work out. But for now, we'll, as I said, re-siege these, and then we'll figure out what we want to do, or how we'll handle the situation. Of course, my manpower is now screwed, but nothing much I can do with that. We'll simply have to deal with that when as time goes. Castile will most likely fall in the next war, hopefully, simply because of the fact, or will most likely try and take most of their stuff, due to the fact that if I do get an alliance with the Frenchmen, then we can basically go ahead and take back most of the colonies here. And the only problem there will be that I'll most likely have to call all of these myself, and that'll be damn expensive, but we can live with that. Tolerance of heretics. Don't actually want to tolerate the heretics, so no problem with that. But we are catching up in tech, so it's not really that much of a problem. Those Castilian patriots are kind of more of an annoyance, but for now, not really that much we can do. We'll simply re-siege this, and then I think we might actually be able to get ourselves out of this with a white peace. We'll simply have to wait and see how it goes. Once again, I'm kind of torn because, as you know, the Aztec ideas are suck. They suck. Let's just be honest. They're terrible, all of them. It's kind of tempting to just finish this tree here to start causing mayhem in Asia, but considering that I will fight Castile and the rest of Europe pretty soon, it's also very tempting to go up in military or diplomatic tech, so I can actually have a navy that can, to some extent, rival the navies that I will be meeting. And also the fact that the Holy Roman Empire is starting to get kind of scary, or they will potentially be the endgame boss, and that is also kind of scary because I'm pretty sure that, once again, Antwerpen is Amsterdam, so that kind of sucks. But London will also be a nuisance to get, so we should potentially try and get... it's very tempting actually to send a shipload of soldiers over, 20k or so, and try and actually vassalize Scotland. That is actually kind of tempting, simply to have a base of operations from which we can attack England. But honestly, I really do not know what or how we'll handle this. Castile and Portugal is probably the first place we'll attack, and then we'll deal with the rest as it goes. But for now, that is, I think, the plan. Granada and Galicia will definitely be the targets, but that's so far I shouldn't really be talking about it. As you can see, we still have a Regis accounts for at least 11 more years, and the war with Castile will could potentially last that long. But for now, I guess we'll just continue with upgrading. We'll go for Counting House and Spy Agency, level 11 Admin Tech. Gives said buildings pretty good. Level 13 is, or 14, my bad, is more interesting, because then we'll have 4 idea groups. How far are these guys actually ahead of me in tech? 15, 14, and 16. So, we aren't actually that far behind anymore. We are rapidly gaining, or catching up. But as you can see, there are also some Castilian patriots that needs to be dealt with, but for now, not really that much of a issue. And Shawnee will be very soon integrated, so we'll just go ahead and re-siege our lands there and try and cause some more trouble for Castile. We don't actually need additional diplomats right now, so I think we'll actually go for trying to catch up to some extent in the diplomacy attack, probably up to 10, and then we'll continue this one. Once again, it's really tempting to actually go westwards to Asia, simply to try and gain some extra power, but if we colonize the entirety of the Americas, I don't really see that we'll run into that many problems that it would make that much of a difference. The problem here will be when it comes to taking down Portugal and Castilian colonial holdings. That'll definitely be the biggest issue, but it should be fine. So I guess we'll go for naval ambitions for now. Max colonial range increased to 115, or by 115. I haven't actually checked that, but I believe it's by 115. Yeah, it's improved by 115. And naval morale is increased by 0.3, which also should help further down the line, not right now, but further down the line. And also, as you can see here, we are regaining the lands that Castilian actually stole from us, and we're also sieging their colonies, which is a double win for me. So I think I can actually get out of this war before too long, due to the fact that we're definitely being obnoxious. Let's just leave it at that. Castilians can't actually win this. The only benefit they have right now, these Castilian patriots, they do have, or the alliance itself does have a lot of men, but Castile is gaining war exhaustion due to the fact that we are sieging so many of their colonies, I believe. So for now, this should be in the end a victory for us. We'll also take the next level of military tech, level 11, the matchlock musket. Combat width has increased by 2, cavalry fire by 0.5, infantry shock by 0.2. I can now use small and large cast iron cannons, can now build weapons manufactory and barracks, so not that bad. Lance connecting is the next level, then we'll just be 2 levels behind the charge infantry. I believe the Mauritians are actually just as good, so next level will actually be capable of fighting the Europeans if we get our armies over there. And since we can now most likely get ourselves the alliance with the French, that means that we will definitely be able to attack Castile and Portugal by land. So all that I need really is the transport to get them to France, or get my troops to France. So basically I can even just rely on France to siege most of their lands for me, but I should probably have an army there just as a precaution. So we'll see how that goes. It's still a decade until I can actually start causing trouble here, but just over New Year's Eve now we'll get Shawnee integrated. I'm a little bit not sure how it actually works out in terms of if I integrate someone who's actually under siege. So, actually has been sieged. Integration is a slow process. Shawnee has been integrated. Kind of like expected here, it simply it became mine, but under the control of the under control of the Castilians. But for now, we have to basically try and lock down the northern coast here to make sure that the English don't actually get in and start causing trouble. But for now, it looks fairly all right. We should be fine. Might just be a little bit of an issue here that we have too many troops, but we'll keep them until we are completely certain that that this war is over, I think. So that's that. We'll see how it turns out. I'll despawn some of the mercenaries, but it should be fine. We'll see how it goes. As you can see, the Castilians are still quite stubborn, but we are just 2 points away now from actually getting that peace deal of ours. War score, current peace offer, Castilian war, exhaustion. So Castile actually has some revolts on the mainland, and that makes things quite interesting in terms of if France will actually use this chance to more or less attack them. I do hope they will. We'll also now start to improve relations with Incas so that we can annex them too pretty soon. I also want to get myself that land bridge to Huron rather quickly, so we'll also continue or probably start some extra colonizing here just to get that speed up. And unfortunately, yeah, I guess I'll just aim at blocking off Castile here firstly or foremost, to just be completely sure that they won't be causing me or us too many problems. We'll see how it turns out for now. But for now, as I said, we are in a pretty good position here. I think we can get out of this war if we just wait a little while longer, as you can see there. So we are basically set. We have won this. It's not even anything we can discuss. It's won. End of story. We have beaten back Castile once again, and now we'll start pouncing on them. We'll get our revenge for taking these 3 islands, and we do hold a grudge. So it'll be interesting to see what the future can bring. But as I said, I think we have what we need now to get that peace. We'll concede defeat, but it's better than continuing a war that in the end won't really lead to anything. So that's nice. We'll continue or block off completely. We'll completely block off their colonization attempts. We'll also despawn all mercenaries, and until I actually get a king myself, we'll just, as I said, keep up the problem creating aspect of things. No, I'm not giving you Aztecs military access. You have been way too mean for that. And also now I might even be able to. Well, I do need an extra colonist for that. Let's see, we'll steal the guy that's down here and we'll send him to up there. We'll just simply continue colonizing. As I was saying here, the fact that I now also have these that I can convert gives me a potential. Potentially I can get the Holy See, which would be hilarious. But for now, we'll just continue, as I said, working on improving our nation, and then we'll screw them over sooner or later. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. All that remains now is really to just wait and sooner or later get our vengeance. As you can see, we have established our alliance with the Frenchmen, and that puts us in a very sweet position when it comes to future attacks. Unfortunately, we can't get a royal marriage yet. We are too far away. That is fair enough. I'll of course ask and offer military access once I actually get time for it, because of course diplomats traveling back and forth here is going to be it's really going to be annoying. Let's just leave it at that. It's going to take half a year every single time I make a deal or declare a war. So hopefully it won't be doing too much of that. But for now, we have our deals. We'll just continue colonizing. We'll be using some of the excess funds to do that. So it should work out fine. We should be able to make things work out to our advantage. At least I do hope so. But for now, as I said, we'll just continue converting the lands, the new lands, and we'll see if we can actually snatch a couple of these future cardinals. We'll see how it goes. As you can see, we have integrated Huron, and we also almost have a border with them. It's kind of ridiculous, really, but it's simply how things will have to be. I guess I'll keep this army around. I think I'm very very much. Yeah, I'm over my full strength right now, but 70,000 man is more than a deterrent than anything that Europe has, I believe. I believe the French have more men than me, but right now we are pretty high up on the borders. Yeah, France, Ottomans, Castile actually has 100,000 soldiers, which is kind of scary when you think about it. That's been that they conquered something eastward. Probably not, but we are pretty high up on the list as well. Although we don't actually have the manpower to support our armies right now, which also sucks. But England do actually have less men than us, and Portugal is apparently gone. So I guess that makes sense. Positively, I can of course now release Portugal. Let that sink in for a minute. Portugal does have a lot of colonies too, a lot of cores. So Spain is now basically put themselves in a corner where all the Portuguese colonies will be mine pretty soon. And also, of course, now the Frenchmen, or the French, as it were, will hate them even more. And that is, of course, a very, very positive thing for me. So we'll improve relations and keep them high with France. And probably next time or the time after that, we'll actually send about 40,000 men to Europe and potentially start a war against Castile. We'll probably siege many of their colonies and take as many colonies as possible, but also a Portuguese province in Europe, I think, simply due to the fact that if the Portugal capital, we'll probably just take a colony. I have no idea if it'll make it more expensive to take back colonies or not, but it doesn't matter. We'll probably aim at releasing, we'll definitely aim at releasing Portugal. That is good news. That means that I don't actually have to eat up Portugal to get Lisbon, and that's of course a positive thing. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and we'll probably get back to you trying to kick Castile's ass next time. I'll see you around. Bye.